Hello there. Today is September 20th, 2024, and in today's episode, we will be doing a update on our harder than last time supplement experiment. Now, before I go into today's video, I just wanted to, take care of a few things and put some stuff out there so that nobody would want to sue me. So read this quick disclaimer. Now, just in case it's not on that disclaimer that I might have copied from online or something like that, I just also want to point out there that I am not a paid affiliate or marketing associate for the Harder Than Last Time supplement store. Also, in my opinion, does not reflect that of the Harder Than Last Time supplement store, nor any of its affiliates. My opinion does not reflect Coach Greg Doucet, nor any of his affiliates. Everything that I'm doing, I am doing for entertainment purposes. I am not a medical expert. I am not trying to encourage nor discourage anybody from utilizing any of the products that you see in this video. I am just going to be talking about my opinions, and again, they are for entertainment purposes. All right. Got to protect yourself. Got to protect yourself legally, right? Anyway. Hmm. Uh, this is a pre-workout. I got it from my sample packs of the Harder Than Last Time pre-workout 3.0. Whenever you order like a bunch of the Harder Than Last Time stuff, they give you these little sample packs that they'll have like, either some pre-workout or maybe they'll have some of their supplements, and they'll even have samples of protein powder. Yeah, it comes in this nice little packet. So let's get into the product update, right? Now, I know there's been some videos that had came out where somebody did a test to look at turkesterone, and they went with some kind of Chinese supplement, and lo and behold, it did not actually have the turkesterone inside the supplement. And yeah, it had basically they were just trying to call turkesterone like a dud or something like that. And then Coach Greg Doucet, he made a video where he defended his product out, and he showed that how his product does have the turkesterone in it, and he even rebunked that research because the research was really done poorly, and the people didn't really look at what it is that they were testing, because you need, I think, a spectrometer or something like that to really try to detect turkesterone. So anyway, that kind of made me want to just put out this video. I've made comments on a lot of those videos, and in those comments, I've actually critiqued, um, you know, the results that I've had taking Turk Builder Plus, and taking GO2 Max. So I want to start this video by basically concluding my experiment for like the last 2 to 3 months that I've been taking Turk Builder and GO2 Max. So, GO2 Max, I'll start with GO2 Max. GO2 Max by far is my favorite out of all of the supplements that I've tested from the Harder Than Last Time supplement brands. Um, when it comes down to GO2 Max, it does what Coach Greg says it does. It does help. It does help you to exercise for for a longer period, specifically doing cardio for a longer period. But you could apply GO2 Max even when you're doing something like, lifting weights and stuff like that. In fact, I often really do like how GO2 Max and Turk Builder, when they're stacked and taken at the same time, I do like how both of them interact with one another. It's like they really do complement each other. So don't be afraid to mix it up like that. But anyway, GO2 Max, my favorite, because when you take GO2 Max, it works right away. There is no stacking. You do not need to stack GO2 Max. You don't need to be taking it in higher dosage for a few days like you would with creatine. None of that stuff is necessary. You just pop a few GO2 Max, let it get into your system, and then you just take off. What I like to do is I like to take a little bit of GO2 Max. I like to drink some coffee or take a pre workout, but usually I like to do my cardio in the morning. So if I'm taking my cardio in the morning, then I'll just take some GO2 Max, have some coffee, and then I'll just go about doing my cardio. And it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I've enjoyed it. It works. It does. When I have GO2 Max in my system and I begin to work out, and especially if I'm watching something of interest, the time just flies by. And I'll look, 30 minutes have passed. I'll look again, an hour passed. I'll look again, an hour and 30 minutes have passed. Now, I am obese. And unfortunately, when my body is not used to exercising for such a long period of time, um, the negative effect that taking something like GO2 Max is you can end up pushing yourself a little bit too much, and you'll just probably end up hurting yourself, especially if you're just doing so, even when you're doing cardio. Because what will happen is I'll begin to feel pain in my feet, pain in my knees, and stuff like that, and that's because I was exercising for so long. And again, GO2 Max really does make it feel like you haven't exercised that long. So that's why I say I really absolutely love GO2 Max. If you're going, if you're trying to do like a lot of cardio, kind of like how David Goggins did, like so much cardio when he was first trying to lose weight, when he was losing weight to join the Marines when he was younger, he was doing so much cardio all day long. If he was taking something like GO2 Max, he probably would have almost did double that amount of cardio. That's how well GO2 Max works. So I like it. You get a decent amount of supply. It's worth the price that I pay. I absolutely have no problems with it. I think a lot of people might say something about the price, but I just have to remind people that it's called inflation, and so everything is expensive. Everything is expensive, but GO2 Max, it does the job. I like it. Um, Absolutely no problems. And again, um, there's no negative effects that I've noticed. Um, the only potential drawback of taking something like GO2 Max would be maybe if you took it late at night and then you did some exercise, um, you may kind of like it may be harder for you to go to sleep. That's the only negative thing I could probably potentially see as a drawback for taking GO2 Max. But as long as you're taking it like way before bedtime and stuff like that, you should be good. Like at least a couple hours before bedtime, you should have nothing going wrong. So especially if you just take this in the morning, best time to take it. You should have really nothing negative or anything like that. And like I said, you just like one pill is all you need, and it does the job. Sometimes when I take it, especially when I'm hydrated, it almost feels like my lungs it is like there's moisture in the air and my lungs is dry and it's like taking that moisture in. That kind of sensation that you might get. I kind of get that when I take GO2 Max, and it's pretty cool to me. But yeah, GO2 Max is my favorite. I think if you're one of those people who are trying to lose weight, and you don't really want to mess with everything else, GO2 Max is pretty much all you need. Turk Builder. So Turk Builder Plus. This is the supplement of controversy. There, originally it was called originally Turk Builder, which was called it's Ecti Builder now. But originally when this came out, this was the original Turk Builder. But through testing and stuff, and it was really no fault of Coach Greg. It didn't really have. There were some that just didn't have that testosterone in there, and so eventually this just became Ecti Builder. So this is Ecti Builder, formerly Turk Builder, and so now we're the Turk Builder Plus, where this has been thoroughly tested and is shown to have testosterone in there. So when I first took Turk Builder Plus, I didn't really notice anything. I was only taking one capsule, and I did that for like about 3 or 4 days. So I just really didn't notice anything. And so I upped it to 2 capsules, and I actually started noticing things. I actually started noticing, you know, just a little bit more aggression when it comes to like lifting the weights. And then over time, I kind of noticed that, I started like adding more weight each week. You know, usually I try to add like, 2.5 to 5 pounds. Maybe if I'm doing the lower body, I try to increase it by somewhere between 5 to 10 pounds every week. And there were a few times where I was just adding like an extra 10 pounds, an extra 20 pounds. And just so you guys know, when I started training, I did not test out my 1 rep max. What I did was I picked a light enough weight that I knew I could do, and I just started adding weight from there. And I knew eventually, if I keep adding weight each week, I will eventually get to the point where I can't do the exercise in its completion, and then I've known that I've basically gone to there. And so then from that point, I'll still slowly add weight and add weight and add weight as I master that weight and get used to it. Progressional overload. So I had already achieved that number before I started taking the Turk Builder. So I should have already been pretty much working with pretty much like I think 70% of my 1 rep max. But I will say, when you take something like Turk Builder Plus, I don't know how it does it. I think it's the whatever part of your brain that kind of generates that aggression that somehow switches off maybe some of your safety limits. And when that switch is switched off, because of the Turk Builder Plus, you can push yourself more. So when Coach Greg puts in his videos that taking Turk Builder Plus will help you to build more muscle, that's how it does it. You're pushing yourself more. Instead of you doing, let's say, maybe 70% of your 1 rep max, Turk Builder Plus allows you to do 80% of your 1 rep max, maybe even 90% of your 1 rep max, and it helps you it makes it feel like it's nothing. And that is how it helps you to build more muscle, because while to you in that moment it feels like nothing, to your body it feels like something. Let me just explain. Let's say you're doing a bicep curl and you're using a dumbbell, and your 1 rep max on this dumbbell is like let's say let's say your 1 rep max is 60 pounds, right? No. Let's say it's 50 pounds, right? 50 pounds is your 1 rep max with the dumbbell. Well, generally, um, 50 pounds times like 70% is a good training weight. So that means your training weight should be about 35 pounds. Um, so if your 1 rep max for one arm is 50 pounds, then your training weight should be somewhere around 70% of your 1 rep max, maybe even as low as 65% of your 1 rep max. But 70% of your 1 rep max should be, I think, pretty much the max if you're training if you're training for hypertrophy. So 35 pounds should be the maximum that you're throwing around for one arm for a dumbbell. Now, of course, if you increase the weight, you could probably reduce the reps. But for all intents and purposes, 35 pounds would be my training weight. What Turk Builder does is instead of me training with 35 pounds, using 70%, Turk Builder makes, let's say, 80% feel like it's 70%. So, and again, I'm just putting the numbers out there. How Turk Builder affects you may not be the same way it affects me, but I'm just giving you my results. So, if 35 pounds is the normal weight that I train with when I'm doing, let's say, 5 sets of 10 reps, right? If 35 is what I normally train with, when I take Turk Builder Plus, I feel like, 35 is not enough. I need to increase the weight. I'm a complete pussy. And so I just need to up the weight. And so now I just say, you know what, I'll play it safe. I'll just increase it by 5 pounds. Yeah, 40 pounds feels good. Yeah, 40 pounds feel good. And so I'll just knock it out with 40 pounds. You see, in that moment, my mind, 40 pounds feels like 35 pounds. But for my body, 40 pounds feels like 40 pounds. And so the next day when I wake up, and it's now taking me longer to recover from the previous day workout, it's because of Turk Builder Plus. Now, before I really get more into the results of this stuff, I just have to put out my stats, right? I am currently 33. I turned 34 this year. So I am 34 years old. I am 6 feet 2.5 inches tall. I weigh 371 pounds. I don't have any children. I don't have any wife. I don't have any, STDs, STIs. I don't have any diseases. I don't have any ailments or anything like that that can be potentially hurting me. Like I have not been diagnosed for diabetes. But to be fair, I have not went to a doctor in a very long time. So yeah, that's the stats that I just need to throw out there. Now, I've already known because I've trained before that my recovery sucks. Okay, if I do too much in the gym, I'm gonna be T-Rex in the arms and stuff like that. This is when I first start working out and I work out my upper body. This is my arms the next day or the day after. I'm just T-Rexing, and this is what I'm doing because I can't. It's painful to bend my arms and stuff like that. Now, over time, as long as I work out consistently, eventually that goes away, and so even when I'm sore, I can still move my arms and everything is good. I know for a fact that I do not have good genetics when it comes to muscle recovery. I am quite aware of that. Even in my 20s, I know it takes me a long time to recover. However, I will say that my recovery rate does improve the healthier I get. Okay, so I've noticed that when I did weigh like under 300 pounds, the recovery rate was a lot better versus when I'm over 300 pounds, the recovery rate is even more garbage. So I would say my recovery is below average across the board. I was hoping that that Turk Builder Plus. I was really hoping that this supplement, that if I take it, it would help a lot with the recovery. Unfortunately, I don't think I am what you called a hyper responder. I think Coach Greg has often used that to refer to himself when it comes to like utilizing any type of supplements, that he is more of a hyper responder. I am not a hyper responder. So even with taking 2 capsules, um, it doesn't really improve my recovery. Not that I've noticed. And here's the thing: I do get greedy. I do get greedy in the gym. Again, it's because of the Turk Builder Plus. How it helps you build more muscle is because it boosts up that it cat buddy buddy. You gonna make me bust out it? You want me? I need you to. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna need you to move. There we go. He doesn't like his little paw hair clipper, so that's how I get him to move when he wants to be annoying. Anyway, so when I am taking, I got 2 of these now. I stocked up on the Turk Builder Plus because these don't stay in his store too long, so you have to kind of make sure you have a little bit extra. I try to keep at least a 2 month supply on hand. They do sell out. Anyway, so how Turk Builder, how any of these ecti steroids work is like it just turns off a few safety switches, a few of those safety switches that you're holding yourself back. You know what I'm saying? You're way stronger than you think, but because of how much you can end up tearing your own muscles just by even flexing, your body holds back a lot. Turk Builder Plus um, opens a few of those doors, and it doesn't. It's not gigante. You're not doubling up the weight, but you are increasing it. And because of that, because you're pushing yourself more, you're tearing your muscles more, and those little micro tears are filling up with muscle, and so your muscles are growing more. That's how Turk Builder Plus helps you to build more muscle, right? A similar thing happens when you take steroids. So if you watch any of those videos where people explain how steroids work, when you're taking those steroids, um, if let's say your normal training weight, again, your 1 rep max is 50 pounds. Your training weight, you try to keep it around 70 because you're training for hypertrophy or something like that. And 70 is like really more the middle ground between hypertrophy and strength training. So you're training at like 70% of your 1 rep max, and it feels like nothing to you. It feels like nothing to you. So when you take the steroids, that 35 pounds probably feels like 20 pounds. And so you end up switching out that 35 for like a 45. And so look, you're basically almost doing pretty much getting close to just doing a 1 rep max. But you can push yourself more. Those steroids are allowing you to unlock more. And so you're using more of your strength that you would normally kind of keep in reserve. And so that end up making more micro tears in your muscle, and the steroid is helping to keep you producing enough testosterone where you're going to just recover so fast. So, unfortunately, Turk Builder Plus especially specifically when it comes to me, Turk Builder Plus does not help me to recover fast. I can push myself, maybe not as much as if maybe I was taking steroids. So, um, again, if my base training weight is 35 pounds, is my training weight, and that's 70% of my 1 rep max. When I take something like Turk Builder, I can push that 35 pounds to 40 pounds. And if I was taking steroids, I could probably push that to 50 or 55 pounds. So, um, that's the difference. Again, this is not a steroid. This is a ecthy steroid. So this is not as anabolic as actual steroids. If you look at the molecular chain, you will see this is missing a whole bunch that you would normally see in a regular steroid. In fact, if you look at testosterone specifically, you find these in plants. If you look at ecdie steroids, you find those inside. You can find those in plants. You can find those in some aqua animals. You can find those in insects. So yeah, that's where those come from. Those are their steroids. So if you fed something like testosterone to like a plant or something like that, I don't know how the plant would absorb it, but let's say the plant took it like a human was taking testosterone, that plant would get jacked. So this is like a steroid to a plant, to an insect, to some aqua mammals and whatever. So it does. That's why it has less of an effect to humans, but it's enough. It's enough. So again, I would say, looking back at my bench press, when I first started lifting weights, which was like about, let's say, 6 months ago. Um, I was benching like around 60 to 80 pounds to be safe. I hadn't worked out in such a long time, and I just kept adding weight and adding weight. And I did get I did get a stimulation from it. I was messing up my shoulders a lot, so I was really just trying to train my mind to do the form properly. And I managed to up it from doing like 60 pounds, and I got my bench up to about 100 pounds before I got sick with COVID. So I would say over the course of about 2 months, um, let's see, like 2 months, now I would say about 3 months, I've increased my bench by about 40 pounds. That was the strength increase over the course of 4 months. When I started taking, and this was after I had got COVID, after because I had fell off for a little bit. So when I came back, I started my experiment with Turk Builder Plus, and my bench had went down a little bit. So it had went to down to like 80, but I kind of regained the little bit that I lost, and also I was back at 100. So I'm going to look at it from the point when I got back to 100 to afterwards. I would say uh, over the course of 1 month, I went from benching 100 pounds to benching 100 and let me see. Let me just grab the data. So looking at the data, I pretty much went up to about 145 pounds, is where I was benching at. And I did that over the course of, I know I said a month before, but I had to look at the stuff. So I looked at it, and I went to 145. It took me, because at first I was doing 80 pounds. It took me about 2 weeks to bounce back, and go from 80 to 100 pounds. And after those 2 weeks, over the course of a month and a half, my strength had increased like um, another 45 pounds. So that was 40 pounds over the course of 8 weeks. So before Turk Builder Plus, I was basically gaining about 5 pounds of strength each week on the bench press. And then after Turk Builder Plus, I was gaining approximately 7.5 pounds of strength on the bench press. So Turk Builder Plus essentially boosted my results by approximately 50%. So I got a 50% strength development boost by taking Turk Builder Plus. Now, this is not all sunshine and rainbows. I still have to go to my drawback. And again, this is a drawback for me. This might not be a drawback for you. Turk Builder Plus does not help me to recover fast enough. And again, I have poor genetics when it comes to muscle recovery. Okay, I have observed it enough to just see what it does, and that's just how it is. I have poor muscle recovery. There's nothing really I could do about that. And Turk Builder Plus didn't really help me to recover like that. It didn't really do anything. Again, I'm just observing this. I'm checking this. I'm hoping that I just recover fast enough because, again, I'm going crazy in the gym. I'm adding more weight. I'm going like, no, I'm not adding 5 pounds to the bench. I'm adding 10 pounds to the bench. I'm just going crazy in the gym, okay? And then it takes 2 or 3 days to recover. And I'm like, crap. So, I'm going to be honest with you. I probably would have ended up with a bigger number, but I will say about a month and a half into the experiment, I had already come to understand what Turk Builder Plus was doing. And I came to understand how it was just turning off those safety limits. And if I was not careful enough, I would have hurt myself. Because again, it just turns it off. It's just turning off that safety limit, and it's boosting up the aggression as a byproduct of kind of like switching that off. Or I don't know if the aggression boost is what turns it off. I don't know. Either way, I just know one thing: when I take it, I feel a little bit more aggressive, and just a little bit. I just feel just a little bit more aggressive, and I feel like I can do more. But my body is so unhealthy that it can't handle it. So again, I am 34 years old. You know, I'm basically 35 really. So I'm in my mid 30s. I'm out of shape. I am morbidly obese. Okay, I weigh 371 pounds. I am the limiting factor. Okay, I don't have the greatest genetics when it comes to recovery. Uh, you may experience differently. You know, when you take stuff like Turk Builder Plus or any type of supplements, it really is kind of 50-50 whether it works for you or not. You know what I'm saying? This stuff is not tested so extreme that we know if 90% of the population will respond to it or 80% of the population will respond to it. We don't know anything. We don't know enough about that. You know, people have tested what they thought was turkesterone, but they have tested stuff like HTLT builders before, and you know, some tests showed not really no difference. Some tests that showed just a minor difference. So you could take with that what you will. Turkesterone is still a type of HTLT builder. It still comes from that from that family. I think it's more of like a planktosteroid. I forgot what the exact science is, but you know, it's like it's doing something, and it's only doing by about that much. It's not testosterone. Testosterone, testosterone is going to give you like that much. You know what I'm saying? That much of a boost. But ecti builders, like that much of a boost. You know what I'm saying? Just enough. Just a little bit. It's just a little bit. So, do I think the Turk Builder Plus is worth it? I would say I do believe that it's worth it. I believe that if you are a person who has hit your plateau, if you are a person who have hit your plateau, um, you might need something to turn off that safety limit, maybe boost your aggression a little bit, and that's going to be Turk Builder Plus. Turk Builder Plus is going to help you break that plateau because it's going to allow you to push past that safety barrier and push more weight on that bar. That's how Turk Builder, I believe, works. Now, after when I first started the Turk Builder experiment, I did make sure that I was consuming around 180 grams of protein on average. In the beginning, especially in the beginning when I was testing out Turk Builder, I was more on a carnivore type of diet. I did eventually like incorporate some carbs and stuff into it, and I did jack up my calories to the point where I was consuming somewhere between 23 to 2,800 calories every day. So I really wasn't on a diet that was causing me to lose weight. In fact, I was slowly gaining weight each week. In the beginning, I kind of noticed that the scale was going up like about like half a pound each week. In my soul, I was going like, please just let that all be muscle. Just please let that be muscle. Please let me be gaining like a quarter to a half a pound of muscle. And I would say I was gaining about a quarter pound of muscle and about a quarter pound of fat. And so yeah, that's how that worked out. I did notice that my muscles, especially my pec muscles and stuff like that, I did notice that my muscles were getting bigger and stuff like that. Like I was noticed that I could see like a shape in the shirt and stuff like that. And you guys can kind of see that too, especially like when I'm like squeezing them and stuff like that. Like I can feel like even my shoulder boulders are coming back. Look at these little more. I got poor delts, but these traps, oh, you. Mm. But yeah, I can see them. I can feel the muscles coming through. And again, if you're building strength, you're building some type of muscle. And yeah, so Turk Builder, I believe is worth it for somebody who is closer to their plateau. Maybe somebody who's approaching their genetic limits. Um, I believe Turk Builder can be beneficial to people who might be starting out. Let's say, especially like if you're like in your 30s or something like that. I think if you take Turk Builder, especially when you haven't worked out in such a very, very long time and you're out of shape, I think by taking Turk Builder, it can help you kind of depussify yourself. I think for safety and stuff like that, and just the fear of hurting ourselves, we often hold back, and sometimes we're holding back too much. We're holding too much back, and that's causing us to not really make any progress. So I think Turk Builder can bypass that, and it can help you push yourself more. But I'm just going to be honest with you. You have to be very careful when you take in something like Turk Builder because this thing, it does allow you to kind of push yourself just a little bit. And that if you got too much of an ego, which sometimes I will get too much of an ego, I'm man enough to admit it. That ego plus turning off the safety limit could be a express ticket to Snap City. So you got to be careful with that. Um, but yeah, now I don't think kids should take something like Turk Builder Plus. I think you guys are already young. You got plenty of hormones, plenty of testosterone flowing in your blood. You got so much going for you right now. You're able to bounce back, so you're able to heal faster, and you're not like an old man like me. Okay, you're able to heal way faster than me. Your body isn't working against you. Your body wants to build up with you. So you got plenty going for you. You don't need something to push yourself like Turk Builder Plus. So would I recommend something like this to somebody who's like 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25? No, I wouldn't recommend this to somebody who's like younger than 25. Maybe if you're older than 25, Turk Builder Plus might be good for you. I like to look at my experiment from this point of view. Again, I am obese. I am in my mid 30s. I am out of shape. Can something like Turk Builder Plus help you to build muscle? The answer for my experiment is yes. And how it does it, it allows you to boost that aggression a little bit, and it allows you to kind of push past the safety limits. So that's pretty much that's as far as I could test when it comes to my experiment. Now, there's one important factor from this experiment. I have only tested taking Turk Builder Plus up to 2 caps. I have not tested taking Turk Builder Plus at 3 capsules. And the reason why I have not tested taking Turk Builder Plus at 3 capsule is because I cannot fully utilize it. In my current form, my current health, this obese body, I cannot fully tap into the power of Turk Builder Plus. I will just hurt myself, and it will take me a long time to recover. I'll also put out for this experiment that on average I was lifting weight. I at least hit each body part once a week. That's the minimum. There were some weeks where I hit different body parts 2 times. But again, I was also struggling with my own issues and stuff like that. So again, I really didn't even exercise the way that I wanted to exercise. As a matter of fact, before I was taking Turk Builder Plus, I was hitting each muscle at least 2 times a week. After I was taking Turk Builder Plus, because I had went on a binge, had COVID for about a month, and I was out for basically didn't do anything for about a month and a half. When I got back on the wagon, I was only lifting weights on average for each body part once a week. So technically speaking, I exercised less, and I got about 50% more strength results. Again, I don't have the devices to measure muscle mass, so I cannot tell you if I built, how much muscle did I gain and stuff like that. I can't tell you that. I can only judge my muscle mass based off of my strength increase. Now, one thing that I came to fear while I was taking this, while I was doing this experiment, was the level of my testosterone. After watching some videos and stuff like that, I started to question my testosterone. And, I was looking at some of the symptoms of having low T. So, I wanted to get tested to check out my testosterone. But, finances was getting a little bit stretched. I was having an issue with my medical insurance. And so I did not check out my testosterone levels. But what I did do was I incorporated G Test. And G Test, this actually did not mess with my budget, because I was already taking some supplements, because even before this whole experiment, I was trying to just improve my health, improve my heart health. I was trying to improve, um, my reproductive health, and there was all type of vitamins and stuff that I was taking, and just so happened that G Test pretty much contained a lot of the stuff that I was already taking, and so I didn't have to buy that stuff no more, and I just switched to G Test. Actually, I had meant to, because I had made a big order. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I got like a whole bunch of supplements going on right there. I had took a picture earlier. Let's see. There we go. But yeah, G Test was unfortunately out of stock on the website. So as soon as it's back in stock, I will buy some more. But I think I'm pretty decent. I think I have enough to get through the next 3 weeks. But I definitely need to stock up. But anyway, yeah. So G Test, G Test, it's supposed to like help naturally boost your testosterone. Essentially, it's providing enough nutrition for your body to assist with the production of testosterone. What G Test really it has these supplements in there, and when these supplements are inside your body, they help reduce the effects of cortisol on your body, and that's real big. So even if G Test doesn't boost your testosterone, by lowering the cortisol effect on your body, it will help your body to utilize its testosterone in a more productive way. So even if technically these testosterone boosters might not boost your testosterone by a significant margin, ultimately, by reducing the effects of cortisol on your body, is making your body utilization of testosterone way more efficient. And so that was another thing. When I started taking G Test, and I didn't really notice the significant effects of taking G Test, and again, I was taking a lot of supplements that's already inside of G Test. Like I was already taking stuff that contained almost like half the list or whatever. So by taking G Test, I didn't really notice that much of a difference until like about 2 weeks in, and then I kind of noticed a little bit more of a positive effect. I noticed myself being way more relaxed. Um, I noticed with the G Test formula that relaxation lasted a whole lot longer. I felt more peaceful, more relaxed. And I didn't even notice that sometimes when I'm speaking and stuff like that, that I kind of tighten the muscles in my throat a little bit, and so my voice gets like this high pitchedness to it. But that started kind of going away, about 2 weeks in when I was taking the G Test. I think also because I was building more muscle, my body was getting healthier, and I believe that my testosterone naturally increased a little bit. When you work out, even if you're out of shape, working out is does so much to your testosterone. Working out will help you to naturally increase your testosterone by a lot. Simply working out and losing weight will increase your testosterone way more than any type of supplement can do. That's just the facts. If you go look at Renaissance periodization, look at Dr. Mike and stuff like that. They've done research on all type of testosterone boosters, and they will all tell you the simple thing: eat enough protein, work out, lose weight, you know, cardio, if you doing all of that will naturally boost your testosterone on its own. However, what I will say is if you take these natural testosterone boosters, especially G Test, it's going to help reduce the effects of cortisol on your body, and that in on itself is a benefit. And it's such a benefit because again, it allows your body to utilize your testosterone in a more productive way. So that's my opinion of G Test. So that is the harder than last time supplement experiment review conclusion. If you guys have any questions, you can leave it in the chat. I am going to be making some changes into my training. I was already going down these changes a few weeks ago. I've actually been on a little bit of a hiatus from my path. I haven't really been exercising anything over these last 3 weeks. So essentially, I have completely cycled off of these supplements. And so I am now ready to go into a new phase of this experiment. And I'll go over that in another video. So I'll catch you guys next time. I hope this was informative. And if you guys got anything out of this video, thumbs up. I'll catch you guys later.